Glorious nasal passage clearing. Welcome to Attack of the Show, TV's only source for all the stuff to care about. I am Kevin Pereira.
Yes, you are. And I am Anna David. I'm filling in for Olivia Munn. It's Wednesday, August 29th, and we're coming to you live from the G4 Studios in Los Angeles.
Woo! No, it's not down. On today's show, this is a big deal. Rob Zombie is joining us in the loop one-on-one to talk about horror video games and his new Halloween remake. Then, we're going to tell you about Nokia's brand new touchscreen iPhone rival in the feed.
Plus, Miss Teen South Carolina is back again. This time, she's giving us geography lessons when we go around the net. And Morgan Webb stops by to give us all the dirt on Manhunt 2's new rating and game break.
We have to pay per clap, so it's really better that we just...
Yeah, no applause, no applause.
Now it's time to forget about our troubles and replace them with pure digital joy.
It's the top 5 web items rounded up for your convenience. Let's go around the net.
What?
If you've been keeping up with your Attack of the Show this week, today's number 5 will be a little familiar to you. Yes, it's Miss Teen South Carolina, Lauren, Caitlin, Upton,
the future
Kevin.
Miss Pereira. I'm telling you, I'm marrying this woman, whether she likes it or not.
Your future ex-girlfriend.
I will club her and drag her back into the cave if I have to. But she's back on the internet, and we had to, sadly, we had to drop her down to number 5. Take her down a couple pegs. Because it's clear that Lauren is approaching, Tron guy status, and she's sort of milking her fame.
I have to agree with you.
If you will. And now that she did this online geography quiz for People magazine. Have you seen this thing at all?
Let's check it out.
Here it is. So you head on over to People. You get a little video clip. Here it is.
What is the driest place on Earth? I don't even want to hear where your dirty mind is going right now,
No, okay. What is the driest place on Earth? It's actually a multiple choice question. There's Death Valley, the Atacama Desert, or the Gobi Desert.
Well, this guy who claims to know everything was telling me that he was absolutely positive is the Gobi Desert is this guy with these initials KP.
All right, let's select Gobi Desert then. Always right. So we're going to check the answer. And?
Incorrect!
Well, I personally think the Atacama Desert in northern Chile is the driest place on Earth. Duh.
Okay, wait.
Wow.
Your future ex-girlfriend is smarter than you.
No, please. As scripted as it is, there's cue cards there, and she's still having trouble reading them. You know it.
I don't know, Kevin.
Honestly, no one's watching this. It's a fun little quiz, but no one's watching this for actual facts or figures or information. Nobody cares. These are the moments that we want.
A ferry ride from Buenos Aires to Montevideo takes 3 hours. Duh. Marking is the largest archipelagic country on Earth. Yeah. Duh. Lake Superior, which is bigger than South Carolina. Or Scotland. Hey, I'm Scottish. Cool. Antarctica. Oh. I'm Lauren Caitlin Upton. Hope you had fun taking my geography quiz and hope you didn't get stumped.
Wow.
I say, if she was just the daughter of Joe Simpson, she would have a career.
Yes.
As a singer, as a reality star.
But now she's starting...
She's a little Jessica Simpson.
Do you think she'll actually be able to parlay this into a career, though?
Being like that is the best thing for a career.
Exactly.
Yeah, because you just say the words, you know this. You just say the words other people write for you.
If I had breasts, I would own cable television. Are you kidding me? Now, of course, we're still waiting for Miss Upton's video message for mapsforus.org, because that is a huge, huge thing. We're going to assume that it got lost in the mail somewhere in the U.S. America.
Such as the Iraq.
And the like.
And keep sending us the maps. The children of the Asian countries need them.
Come on, it's for the kids.
At number 4 today is a new advice segment from the fine folks at black20.com.
Yes, taking a cue from Leno's Ask the Fruitcake Lady segment, the Black 20 troupe is having one of their grandmothers answer questions. It's a new bit that they call Ask Gam.
Ask Gam. When you're stuck in a jam, ask Gam. When you don't have a plan, ask Gam.
Ask who?
Ask me!
Dear Gam, my parents suck. All they do is complain and tell me to clean my room and do good in school. My dad won't even let me wear tank tops. I'm thinking about running away. Help! Sincerely, Tracy.
Ask Gam.
First of all, I'd think very seriously about running away because out in the street, it's really tough. And if you think your dad is tough, wait till you get some of those other guys out there. They will play on you, and they will take advantage of you, and then you'll never be able to go home because you will no longer be a virgin.
When you're stuck in a jam, ask Gam.
Oh, yeah. Gam is insightful.
Why didn't my grandmothers were like getting plastic surgery and not like grandma? They were like they're no longer with us, but I've never had grandmothers like that. I want Gam.
You didn't think about it? Sounds like they'd have made perfect consultants. Just film them and maybe like an elderly in your pants kind of thing.
That would have been a good idea. Oh well, too bad. They can't
late.
rise from the dead. This is very disrespectful.
That's all right. For number 3 today, we'll move it on. Let's slow things down a bit. Actually, why don't we take a nice trip down the river? Doesn't that sound good? Yeah.
Because when you're simply taking a boat for a ride, nothing can go wrong. It's leisurely, right?
A boat.
Holy guacamole.
Oh, you know what? That's a fake. That's the only reason that thing's entertaining is because it's completely fake.
Why would you say that's a fake? People almost got killed, Kevin.
Because who says holy guacamole? Who said it's just another company trying to get attention through a viral video like the PSP Christmas Kids or the Subservient Chicken? It's another fake put out by some corporation. It's BS. That's why it's lame. Holy guacamole?
Oh, I would never say it, but I believe there are people out there that would say that.
Have you? Well, obviously you haven't seen the full-length version of the ad, have you?
No.
Take a look.
Holy guacamole.
Brought to you by the Avocado Council. Mmm, avocados.
See what I'm saying? You see, clearly they clipped that for you. Shame on you, Avocado Council. Shame on you.
Viral videos, they're the devil's work.
So is boating. And at number 2 today, though, is a clip from Britain's Sky News. This one's bad. Yeah.
Here we see reporter Derek Tedder reporting from the annual Notting Hill Carnival. It's a giant street fair that pays tribute to the area's Caribbean immigrants.
Yeah, and it's also, as our intrepid reporter discovered, a very difficult place to make a serious newscast.
Anyway, they say 17 rats. There it is. My wife's not watching this. 17 rats. Many people, unfortunately, I can't even talk about the serious stuff.
God. Okay, that reporter totally lost his train of thought when those girls got all up in his grill.
Yeah, you know, when this happens, you really have to remain an utmost professional. You got to continue doing your job for the sake of the broadcast. You know, put your personal feelings aside.
So true.
Finally, folks, coming in at number 1 today, an unintentionally helpful newscast from our side of the pond, thanks to the crack team at Sacramento's CBS 13.
While covering the scandal surrounding not gay Idaho Senator Larry Craig, a few of the newscasters decided to recreate the scene the senator experienced in a Minneapolis airport.
That's true, and it ended up being a how-to for getting, well, gay bathroom sex.
Here's what he's accused of doing. He goes into a bathroom. You can take a seat.
Yeah, okay.
Pretend there's a little wall divider.
There you go.
So you're sitting, this guy's accused of sitting in the bathroom. There's a little space in there.
I'm sorry. I've never...
And he pled guilty to what the police officer, you're the police officer, is sitting there, and this senator allegedly started tapping his foot like this. And apparently that's a sign that you're interested in having some relations with the person in the stall next over. The police officer, move your foot over here. Moved his foot over, and the senator... Exactly.
Really?
The senator then put his foot like this, according to the police officer. And then the senator started running his hand underneath the door.
Whoa.
Okay? And so at that point, the police officer says, those are all signs that are recognized that you're soliciting for bathroom sex. And he went, showed his badge under there, and popped the senator.
Okay, that's informative. We appreciate it.
So,
It's all
yeah.
well and good, but I feel like they left a lot of stuff out. You know, I mean, you're a registered sexpert, correct?
Registered. Yes, I am.
So, I mean, are there other rules that we should be aware of, or?
Yeah, well, do you think we could get a bathroom set up in here?
I mean, come on, we're cable. We can do anything we want. We have one set up already, of course, and I've got my sandals on, so let's head on over there. Well, yeah, I want to keep it as true to form for a
Okay.
local news team as possible. But let's see. Okay, so we have our stall set up here.
Okay, so can we go over what they did?
Yes, please.
Okay, so toe tapping, like this, indicates a desire for interstall relations.
Okay.
Foot to cankle rubbing indicates reciprocal feelings, like
Okay.
that.
But then I believe you're supposed to play the opening drum riff to Queen's We Will Rock You, like with your thighs in the wall, correct? Which translates to come on over. I'm ready to do some sweet, sweet lovin'?
No. It's the wiggling of the fingers beneath the divider. That's the sign of said confirmation of said acceptance.
Okay, but they did, I get that, but they did miss a few important rules, right, Anna? I mean, like, for example, like the act of sliding, let's say, like, some breath mints or, you know, some candy under the stall with a toilet seat protector. That says, hey, I'm ready for some sweet mouth lovin', and you should wear that as a bib because things are going to get messy.
I don't know.
And then in response, of course, you can throw down, you can just lay down like a half-used, like half-empty, like a tub of lube right there, and then a burnt copy of Clay Aiken's Measure of a Man. And that says, hey, this interstate rest stop is about to get hopping.
All right, okay, well, that I've definitely...
But if you don't get a response, of course, from the other person in the stall, that's when you go right to pouring out half a bag of fruit candy on the floor, and it's a sign that, hey, I'm willing to taste the fruit rainbow, but I'm not searching for your pot of gold. You know what I'm saying, Anna? Huh? And then you get the courtesy flush. Do we have a courtesy flush?
Kevin, I kind of get why that you got taken off of in your pants.
You never peek around the divider, Anna. Never.
Well, I'm not sure what to say to you, Kevin.
Well, then,
I thought...
Can we just get rid of the toilets then? I'm saddened. I'm deeply saddened that didn't work out. I was trying to help you give some expert analysis. And
I just thought that you had disgusted me as much as you ever could.
Oh,
I didn't know that that is not a
underestimate.
challenge. That is not a challenge.
Never underestimate.
I think we should move on.
Yeah.
I'm a little concerned about where you're going to go with this.
We're done. I'm just a journalist. This is how things are. I'm sorry.
To get your daily viral fix, go to g4tv.com/aroundthenet and sign up for the Around the Net podcast. Better than pony rides.
Right now, it's time for the only news you need to know. Here's Layla Cayley and the feed headlines.
Thanks, guys. Here's what's coming up in the feed. First, unlike many video game franchises, it looks like Halo 3 might actually get released on time. Plus, Nokia is set to release its iPhone killer, and we'll have all the details. And Zack Snyder has just signed on for a new film, and don't worry, it's not a sequel. It's all coming your way in just a few minutes, but first, back to you guys.
Attack of the Show has just started, so don't go anywhere. We're live, ready to entertain, and only slightly unhinged.
Here's what's coming up on today's Attack of the Show. Rob Zombie is in the studio, ready to give us all the details on his new film, Halloween, in the Loop. And your 3 Ninja Fighters.
Hey guys, welcome back to the show. Today is August 29th. I'm Layla Cayley, and it's time to start the feed. Barring unforeseen disasters or the apocalypse, it looks like Halo 3 will be released on time. Microsoft has just announced that after 3 years of production, Halo 3 has gone gold and started manufacturing. The game is set to hit stores on September 25th, and it's a good thing they got a head start because the sequel is the fastest pre-ordered game in history. Now the only question is, when is Bungie going to start working on the next game? Attention Apple fanboy, Steve Jobs has just announced a special event that will be held on September 5th in San Francisco, titled The Beat Goes On. Apple hasn't directly said what this event is officially about, but they're using the advertising artwork for the iPod to promote it, suggesting Apple may be introducing a new iPod. The big Apple announcement goes down a week from today, and we'll have the complete details on everything as soon as they're unveiled. Nokia has just made some huge announcements and hope to shake up the wireless world. The company just unveiled OV, which is a new download hub that will distribute music, maps, as well as an updated Engage service. A music store is new for Nokia, and they plan to sell songs over the air as well as through the PC. Engage is apparently here to stay, and they've just announced the Nokia N81 will have 8 gigs of storage and allow you to try games before you buy them. And biggest of all, the company revealed their iPhone killer, which looks exactly like an iPhone. A representative for the company said, if there is something good in the world, we copy it with pride. At least they're honest. MySpace is getting into the concert business with the MySpace Music Tour. The ever-expanding social networking site is venturing into real world with a series of concerts headlined by 2 bands who have built a massive online following via MySpace. Hello Goodbye and emo rockers Say Anything. The tour, which starts in Seattle October 16th, will make more than 30 stops before ending in Las Vegas on November 23rd. Also featured will be the Politics, a Japanese punk band who recently signed with MySpace Records. We now know what director Zack Snyder will be doing after Watchmen. Warner Brothers has announced that Snyder, the director of the mega hit 300, will be directing an adaptation of The Illustrated Man, Ray Bradbury's classic sci-fi short story collection. Bradbury's book used the framing device of a mysterious man whose tattoos each came to life and told a different story, including sci-fi classics like The Veldt and The Long Range. Can't wait for that. And finally, the New Jersey teenager who hacked the iPhone has already cashed in on his newfound notoriety. 17-year-old George Hotz managed to unlock the iPhone, thus ending AT&T's stranglehold on the device. In return, he traded his cracked iPhone to Kentucky-based mobile phone repair company Sturtacell for a new Nissan 350Z, 3 8-gig iPhones, and a consulting job. However, Hotz and Sturtacell's joy may be short-lived. AT&T's lawyers are already going after other companies who are selling iPhone unlocking services. So drive that Nissan fast, George, the lawyers are coming. Besides, I heard they pump their fists in Jersey, not their gas. Well, that's it for today, but don't worry, the feed doesn't stop here. Get all the news you need to know anytime at G4TV.com. I'm Layla Kaylee, and you've just been fed. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks, Layla. And stick around because up next, Rob Zombie is going to join us in the loop to talk about Halloween.
Well, don't go anywhere. Attack of the Show will return very soon.
Yeah,
really soon, I swear. Welcome back to Attack of the Show. We're live, and we're ready to look terror in the face. Let's go over to Kevin with more.
Rob Zombie successfully made the jump from music to film, but now he's perhaps facing his biggest challenge yet, reimagining a beloved classic film. Halloween comes early this year with a modern reimagining of John Carpenter's 1978 horror classic.
Trick or treat, baby.
Rocker-turned-director Rob Zombie is back with the 9th Halloween film of the franchise to reboot the iconic series. This Friday, the man behind House of 1,000 Corpses and The Devil's Rejects is reviving psychopath Michael Myers, who once again breaks out of a mental institution to find his baby sister, killing everyone that gets in his way. But modern horror films don't scare audiences the way they used to when Halloween first graced theaters. Will Halloween put modern horror remakes to shame? And what exactly does Zombie have up his sleeves to scare modern audiences? Strap on your killing mask. It's The Loop. All right, everybody, it's an honor to have him. My guest tonight, director of the new Halloween movie, Rob Zombie, joins us in The Loop. Welcome back, Rob. How are you, sir?
Good, thanks.
Now, Rob, a lot of people are talking about the horror genre in general and how it's been changing and evolving, but there's always that old standby of that, hey, it's supposed to be scary, right? It's supposed to, at some point, frighten you if it's a horror film. And I'm wondering what you think it actually takes to scare audiences these days.
Well, obviously things change as time goes on because people get jaded somewhat, and they've seen everything, you know, because everything is available on DVD, and they've watched it to death, and they've watched the special features and how they know how everything's done. But I still think, you know, having screened Halloween the other night for a bunch of people and seeing that they were scared, and people were coming up to me and saying, like, you know, I had to sleep at my friend's house, I didn't want to go home alone, and this and that. I think what people get scared by really is the story. If they're into the story and they're into the characters, they forget they're watching a movie, and they start lulling them into this thing that is a movie where they're really following the journey of these people as if they're watching something real. And then when things start happening, I think that's when they get scared. If they're always consciously watching a movie in their minds, I don't think it scares them.
So is it about, it's sort of about that tension and the pacing of the action that is happening versus gratuitous torture porn 24/7 to the point where you don't even care about these characters?
Well, yeah, I mean, a movie is just, you know, you're manipulating people's emotions, and whether it's a comedy or horror movie, I mean, you're trying to get them to look at a piece of film and have an emotional response. So, I mean, in a way, you just need a more sophisticated bag of tricks to get to them each time. You know, and when I think what I'm trying to say is, like, maybe like a movie like The Shining, when I first saw that, it became scary to me because it just, the pacing of it just lulled me so much that I felt like I was in that hotel, so that even the sound of a little kid riding a big wheel on a carpet seemed scary when clearly it's not scary, but your mindset started slipping and you were so sucked into it. And I think that's what gets to people after a while.
When I read, you said that your Michael Myers is really nothing compared to the ones before, that your Michael Myers is going to be the scariest. It's going to make the other ones look like pansies in comparison. Was it hard coming up with, when you reached into that bag, did you have to come up with new tricks to pull out to make that happen?
Well, sure. I mean, obviously, the first Halloween is amazing. It's an amazing film. I love it. It was terrifying to people. It's probably still terrifying to people. But then what happens is you get a character like Michael Myers who, over the course of 7 sequels, becomes so familiar that basically he runs dry. So to me, the trick was, how do you take something that for 30 years has become so iconic that he's almost like Ronald McDonald, you just recognize him so much, and make him scary again? And what I thought was you start back at the beginning and start with him as a kid and really tell his story in great detail so that by the time, iconic Michael Myers pops up, your mindset of who you think this character is completely changed. And that's the only way to get to people, is by just sinking so deep into them. It's not just going to be because he's a big guy in a rubber mask killing people.
Sure.
That was fresh and new in 1978, but now, we've seen that a million times.
And I hear that a lot, is that we've seen it a million times, not just with Michael Myers, but with regards to movies in general. And some people are saying, in fact, there was an article on Wired.com yesterday that asked if video games are scarier than anything Hollywood can do, because video games are providing these new experiences where you're actually interacting with the environments that you're in. And it kind of was almost sounding perhaps a premature, death whistle for movies in general, saying, hey, video games are where it's at. And I see you shrug, and obviously you don't agree with this.
Well, I mean, that's always happens. I mean, it's just, people are always saying it's the death of whatever, As soon as someone says, no one will ever make a successful pirate movie, can't be done, Pirates of the Caribbean comes out.
Right.
Nobody wants to see a movie with dinosaurs, Jurassic Park. I mean, as soon as somebody sort of states something, it almost inevitably begins to happen. But I understand the video game thing, because I remember playing certain video games, like first-person games, that it's kind of what I was saying earlier. You get so sucked into the world of the video game, because sometimes you sit there and you play it for hours and hours and hours, that when I remember doing this with, I think it was Alien versus Predator or something, and you're going through these corridors and it messes with your mind. You feel like you're there after a while, so that when something comes out, you start feeling this real feeling like you're there, and you go, wait a minute, I'm just playing a video game, but you're so in the game, and that's essentially what you need to do with a movie. You have to get people so into it because big, giant, gory things, that might sicken people, but it's not going to necessarily, it might scare some people. But
would you venture to say that it might be harder to do that in a film because the viewer isn't perhaps as immersed as they would be if they were controlling the action themselves?
Well, it's a different experience. Obviously, it's not as going to be as first person as a video game, but think of any film that people say are scary. It's like, think of Blair Witch Project. Everyone's like, that's the scariest movie ever made. And I think the reason they thought that was just it was manipulating them in a way they had never seen before. Now people can watch and go like, why was that scary? I don't remember why that was scary. But you just have to, you have to get inside their heads in ways that they're not prepared for, and you kind of sneak up behind them, and suddenly they go, Jesus, I'm completely freaked out watching this.
Well,
but
Bob,
they can't see it coming.
I absolutely can't wait to be scared out of my wits by Halloween. I wish you the best of luck with it and your future projects.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time. Of course, huge thanks to Rob Zombie for joining us today. Everybody, Halloween opens in theaters everywhere this Friday. And in tomorrow's Loop, we're going to discuss why.
And to check out the characters, head over to g4tv.com/codemonkey.
Now, from 8-bit to next gen, we're giving you the biggest gaming news the industry has to offer, so pay close attention, because it is, in fact, time for a game break. All right, X-Play co-host Morgan Webb is here today. Thanks for joining us again, Morgan.
Absolutely, it's always fun.
Let's get to the news, shall we?
Okay.
All right.
Well, first up, we have an update to the status of Rockstar Games' controversial horror title, Manhunt 2. Less than 3 months ago, Manhunt 2 was banned from the UK and given an adult-only rating by the Entertainment Software Rating Board here in the US. While the game will remain banned in the UK for the time being, an undetermined number of modifications were made to the gruesome title for the ESRB. Since then, Rockstar Games and publisher Take-Two have proudly announced that Manhunt 2 will be released in the United States with an M for mature rating. This Halloween, gamers of age will have a chance to pick up the console version of Manhunt 2.
for the Wii and the PlayStation 2. The PSP version of the game is also planned for an October 31st release. Next, we're investigating a rumor that was recently unearthed while reviewers scanned their way through Metroid Prime 3 corruption. A cryptic message found in the new Wii title is believed to be directly related to a previously announced DS game called Metroid Dread. While playing corruption, gamers with a keen eye will discover a message that reads, "Experiment status report update. Metroid Project Dread is nearing the final stages of completion." If true, Dread would mark the first 2D Metroid game to appear on the dual-screen handheld, as well as a return to Metroid's classic side-scrolling gameplay. The rumored title is expected to continue with a storyline set after the Game Boy Advance title Metroid Fusion. And finally, multiplayer sci-fi shooter Warhawk has hit store shelves and is also being distributed via the PlayStation Network. The Blu-ray copies cost $59.99 and will include a free Bluetooth headset and some behind-the-scenes videos. Gamers who don't want that stuff can download the game for $39.99, but there's a big catch. In an effort to prevent users from sharing copies of the game with friends, any downloaded copy of Warhawk will be directly tied to the user's PlayStation Network account. GameSpot.com recently interviewed a Sony representative who explained that the new DRM feature was added to prevent losses that could jeopardize free online gameplay on the PlayStation Network. Development, maintenance, and server costs are said to be contributing factors, and similar DRM is planned to be applied to games on the PlayStation Network as deemed necessary. At least the online service is still free.
True. And it's, you know, it's a downloadable game, so it's the argument of, oh, I wanted to bring it to a friend's house. It's not really as easy when you have to wait for it to come off the
If it's really important for you to bring it to a friend's house, just buy
the box copy. And some people are saying, hey, go buy a $60 Bluetooth headset, get a free copy of Warhawk. And that's the way I look at it. But of course, we have to talk about the even bigger news, perhaps, that happened today.
Yes.
Everybody's all excited. Halo 3 has gone gold.
The gamers are all aglow.
We're frothy. You have to wait till September 25th to get it, of course.
Right,
though.
they're printing.
Yeah, and now Grand Theft Auto 4, that's out of the picture now for the end of this year. So the question is, does Halo have any competition? Is there a single game that can actually compete with this franchise?
Well, how long do you think the single player is going to be this time? 12 hours? 13 hours?
Are we counting repetition? If not, maybe 3 or 4 hours? I don't know. But there's such a huge online component. There's so much buzz. Is it just completely overshadowing everything?
Well, and the thing about Halo is everyone's like, I beat it 17,000 times on Legendary, and people go back and they do play it over. I mean, at least they have in the past. Hopefully this one stands up to that much replay, and people can get some value out of the game. But, you know, we're going to see Crisis.
Yeah, okay, let's talk about Crisis then, because EA announced...
Which is going to be great.
Well, the EA announced that they're dropping the demo of Crisis for the PC on September 25th, the same day that Halo 3 is coming out.
Yeah, I think maybe they don't want anyone to play it, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, really,
No,
there's got to be some marketing crazy genius behind this decision, right?
No, I think when I read that, and I was like, maybe they really don't want anyone to play it. Does that sound like conspiracy theory? Like, is there something terribly wrong with this?
No, I highly doubt you'd not want anybody to play your game. Do you think maybe they're gunning for, hey, there's a different type of gamer out there, and those who aren't interested in Halo are going to want to play our first-person shooter?
I think there's people who love console shooters, and there's people who love PC shooters. I tend to love PC shooters more. I'm a little more excited for Crisis, I have to admit, and hopefully it doesn't disappoint, because we all know what we're getting with Halo and console shooter. But I think Crisis. Awesome.
Maybe they don't want anybody to play their game, actually. Maybe there's a weird...
you know what I mean? There's something weird.
I completely understand.
It's weird. Like, they had to know. Or they don't play any console games at all.
We'll get to the bottom of it later, though. Unfortunately, that's going to do it for this game break. But the gaming never stops over on our website. For the latest video game news and headlines, you can subscribe to the AOTS Game Break podcast, available anytime at g4tv.com/podcasts.
And finally, we're sad to announce that today is Will O'Neill's last week as Attack of the Show's regular gadget and tech expert.
Well, he's moving back to San Francisco to be closer to his family and to the pubs. But will still come back to the show from time to time. He's going to be missed.
I know.
I say this because I miss him most on Tuesdays whenever he's not around, because that's when he does color commentary for the Maury Povich paternity tests. Paternity Test Tuesday, he does it at his desk, his wagers. He's given us a lot more memories.
Better than DV Tuesday.
Over the years. Far better. Take a look.
We never got to dance. You never took the chance.
I'm kind of a bum.
I never got to touch your heart to show how much you're all that I need. Your love is all I need. We never
He's pretty comfortable.
No.
It's the big black pen.
Ho, ho, ho.
We never got today.
Check the bullet points.
It's okay. It's
Well,
okay.
I just
Don't cry.
You've just been. I mean, it's
Yeah.
been such a pleasure working with you, Will.
been a lot of
I mean,
fun.
I've loved having you around. You've
And Kevin, I'm not going anywhere. I'm still gonna send you text messages at 5 in the morning. You know.
I talk about how ashamed you are.
Yeah. You know, and my my various exploits. I'll come into the office. You know.
You don't feel shame, Will.
I don't believe in shame. I don't do that.
But you
I'm not
pretend
Catholic
for
or anything.
Kevin's sake
He's the
that you do.
Terminator of one night stands.
Exactly. It's like
Just no remorse.
Exactly. Come with me if you want to live. But,
Did you have? Is there a highlight or a low light for you over the past few years, though?
Japan was a lot of fun. You know, hanging out there and getting paid to get drunk with Zach and running around acting like complete jerks in Tokyo. That was a lot of fun. I'd say some of the lowlights maybe there weren't really that many.
Oh,
Actually, you know, seeing you every day is kind of a drag.
I understand.
It's always so awkward the next day, you know.
True. It is.
That didn't come out right.
No, it typically doesn't come out right. Or at all, actually, which he's very proud of. Do you want to apologize to Apple for hating them for all these years, or maybe finally admit that you want an iPod?
Which camera do I
Why don't you go ahead and go to one there? Here we go.
Okay, so Apple, no, I got nothing to say to them.
Nothing at all. Oh. Well, what are you? You're heading back up north. What are you doing?
I'm gonna hang out at Mom's house. You know, live in the cottage, hang out with my buddies, the family, drink a lot of beer, kick it.
Hey, well, we're supposed to be moving forward in life, not progressing back into the wrong
I tell you,
that is forward for some here.
Leaving my parents' house at the age of 18 was the first big mistake I ever made. I went off to college and did all that stuff, and I was like, dude, this is dumb. Go back every day. Every time I go back there's always food, you know, beer, no rent.
It doesn't sound tempting to me.
Precisely. Now, for all the things you saw today and more, go to g4tv.com/AOTS. Will O'Neill, ladies and gentlemen.
See you later.
Pretend you love him.
Me.
Can I get in on that?
Whoa, this isn't a sandwich, pal.
Fine. I'll just.